I was Rosebud community president for 10 years.
So what challenge did you face as a company?
No money.
It's a tough one.
So that was, but it was, that was probably almost 20 years ago.
I feel like there's always money they just allocated for it.
So I was involved with another community
I found it. Militia across the call check in state game. Another club, Kasla, Grand Chalak, Chit Angala, Etapsi, Kasla, Oyo, Kasla, Exactly.
Thank you. Still looking up?
No, we're live.
Okay. Good evening. Good evening. I'd like to welcome you to the 2022 Community Candidates Forum. This would be night number 1. Tonight's candidates will come to us from Antelope, Rosebud, Parmelee, and St. Francis communities. Each candidate will be asked the same questions and given the same amount of time to give their answers. Upon the time limit being reached, the timekeeper will call time and the candidates will end their answer. This forum will allow each candidate an equal opportunity to introduce themselves to the public. All candidates will be treated equally for the same race, the same fashion. Each candidate agrees they do not refer to an opposing candidate. The question for the candidates. Each candidate will introduce themselves. You will have 4 minutes as a maximum to provide this information. You will provide A, your name, the community of your candidacy, and the officer's position that you are running for. C, what qualifies you to hold an officer's seat in your respective community. D, what education, knowledge, and experience and Lakota values do you possess? We will begin at this area and move around to the candidates, and then we will go to the online area. The first candidate will be Gary Emery. Please
Hi.
introduce yourself.
Thank you. My name is Gary Emery. I am running for presidency of Antelope Community. What qualifies me for a community officer seat, I just want to make a change. I was always told if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. My education is I do have some college under my belt, knowledge, experience. Like I said, I just want to make a change. Experience in Lakota values is I want to help our elders and our youth. I want to kind of guide them, make it a cleaner place, pick up so that way we actually do have a future. Because from what I'm seeing is there's a huge problem out there. Do I go ahead and move on to the questions?
That's it.
All right.
Our second candidate will be Archie. Please identify yourself.
Good evening. My name is Archie Brown. Good evening. My name is Archie Brown. I am running for the Parmelee community as vice president. What qualifies me to be a community officer to sit in that seat is my background. I have a lot of youth involvement. For the past 7 years, I really wasn't involved. I was more involved in my work and family life. But I want to get back involved with that and be there for the youth and try to create some opportunities for the Parmelee youth and other youth within our communities. I have a high school. I've done a lot of knowledge with the youth. I've done vice president with the Boys and Girls Club. I did a lot of youth events with the Rosebud community. I was involved in a lot of events that took place in Rosebud. That's where I was quite some time ago. So I do have a lot of history with that. Lakota values do I possess? I attend a lot of Sundances. I don't dance. I'm involved as a person of trying to, find out when it's my time to get involved and that's still to come, so my calling's still coming. But I'm involved with my Lakota values. You want me to keep going, sir?
No.
Okay.
Next candidate will be Leandra Oxman.
Mitakiapi, Leandra Imichiapi Kisto. Naha Iuha Chantewashte Nape Chuzapi. Good evening, friends and relatives. My name is Leandra, and I shake your hand with good feelings in my heart. I am from the Antelope community, and I am running for the secretary position. I have lived in Antelope community since 1993. And from here, I got my diploma at Todd County High School. I also received an associate's and bachelor's from the Sinte Gleska University. I have been working throughout the years ever since my kids were in Head Start, and throughout different communities as well, with not only the parent committees, but with the youth committees as well. And with my education, I have gotten to go to different places to understand more about different communities and what we need. And I am not a very fluent Lakota speaker. However, I do understand a lot. And with my background, with my grandparents and my grandma, I was not taught a lot of tradition. However, going through schooling, I have learned a lot throughout the years, which I hope to pass on to my children.
Thank you. Our next individual will be Calvin. Could you identify yourself?
Hello, my name is Calvin Sully Jr. I am running for the presidency of Rosebud Community. My qualifications for a community officer seat is, well, I must say, if it was to be out loud, that I believe that I know what Rosebud community needs. I believe that running for community president was the move that I had to make because the Rosebud community needs a leader that is straightforward, open, and will give the proper answers to the proper people to get everything moving forward as it needs to go. My education, knowledge, experience, and Lakota values that I possess would be multiple years in and out of college for a handful of degrees. I hold 2 associates, and I am working on a double bachelor's right now. My knowledge is quite extensive from what I can understand. I'm a man of many hats. I've had a lot of different positions. I've experienced a lot of different things within and outside of our tribal government. I have been to multiple places around the country. I've experienced different governments, different tribes. I've seen different ways of doing things and multiple different outlooks of different possibilities. And I believe I would like to bring that to the Rosebud community. My Lakota values that I possess, I like to believe that I am a good person. I like to believe that I like to hold to my values very strongly. And if I was to say which one that I would hold the highest would be integrity. And I believe that'd be all for that question.
Thank you. Next, we will go to the online individuals. I think we will start with Ramona Straight.
You're muted.
Are you muted? Unmute yourself, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. Hi, iha chente washte na pechu zapi. Ramona Blackbush Straight Imachapi Naha. I am from the Parmelee community and I am running for treasurer. Why I think I'm qualified to be treasurer of our community. I've had a lot of experience with handling books. First of all, my background, I started working when my children started Head Start, so I followed them. I was policy council president for 2 years in a row. I was Parmelee community youth advisor for about 4 years. I've done a lot of fundraising and raising money to get kids everywhere. We even went to, I was part of the group that traveled to the Unity Conference in Washington, D.C. back in 2015. And they were the kids that started the movement to bring the kids back from Carlisle. I've had a lot of experience with a little business that we kind of make with the kids to earn money to get to wherever they want to go. I've been a member of Parmelee community most of my life. I was born here, but I grew up in Rapid City and I graduated from Rapid City Central. I moved home after my father passed away, and then I started Sintegla Shula. I'm a few credits away from getting my A in early childhood education. I decided to run for treasurer just to get back involved in my community. I used to be a Parmelee community secretary for 2 years in a row in 2012 and 13. I was misplaced for a couple years due to a house fire, but I'm back in the community and I think I'm ready to get back involved. The last 2 years were kind of hard on me. I've lost my mother, several nieces, 2 older sisters, one to COVID and the rest to cancer. So I want to get back to my community, and as the Lakota influences in my life, both my grandparents were fluent Lakota speakers, as was my parents. I understand, and if I need to, I can speak Lakota. Our family's heavily involved in the Sundance Circle. And if, I just want to give back to my community as much as I can. And if being treasurer is a step to help doing that, then that's why I'm running. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next candidate would be Miss Young. Do you need to have the questions, or do you have a copy of the questions?
No, I think I got him.
Ramona, you need to mute yourself.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Hi, my name is Alicia Bikro Young. I am running for the vice president of Parmelee. I have lived in this community all my life, and what qualifies me for my position is I want to make a change for the community, the youth, the elderly, and just, help everybody. And I have an associate's degree in early childhood education or elementary education. And I'm currently close to my bachelor's degree, and I received those from Sinte Gleshka. And my Lakota values are to help our community. I know some Lakota, not a lot, but I am familiar with it. I can understand some of it. And I've also been an educator with the youth. I worked at Head Start for 16 years, and I am currently working at the He Dog School now as a paraprofessional. So hopefully by next year, I'll have my own classroom out there. And that's about it.
Thank you. Our next candidate will be Taylor.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. I want to thank you for joining. I just wanted to get on tonight to let everybody know who I am. I wanted to put a face to my name. I know that a lot of people don't know me by Taylor Burnett. That is, in fact, my last name. I'm 32. I'm a mother of 3. I've been a resident of Rosebud my whole life. I'm running for vice president for Rosebud. I decided to take this chance and to just throw my name in the hat this go around. I've always been super interested in tribal politics, tribal government, and I would love to see and be a part of actual change. I'm ready to work alongside my fellow community members to accomplish community goals. Before the job I have now, I worked at Head Start for almost 5 years. So I've worked with our young people. I've worked close with our families. I'm just a couple classes away from receiving my degree in early education. People could probably tell you that I'm easy to work with, easy to get along with. I like to give direct, straight answers. I like to be helpful when I can. I've always advocated for our younger people to take on these challenges and run for these community positions, even if it is out of the normal. I didn't really grow up traditionally, but I do always take every opportunity given to me to participate or learn or take my kids around, do whatever I can to be more involved that kind of way. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Our next candidate, I think you still need to mute, Taylor.
Oh,
She's. Our next candidate is Stephanie Nightpipe.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, my name is Stephanie Nightpipe, and my parents are Ed and Lynette Murray. I grew up my whole life here in Parmelee. I believe that I can really benefit my community by making a positive change for our younger people and for our elderly. Our communities are struggling, and we really need to implement some, programs and stuff into our communities and help give our communities something better to look forward to. Like I said, I grew up here. I worked at He Dog School for 11 years. As a secretary, I was able to make connections with the families and, the children. I know just about everybody in Parmelee and the surrounding communities. I've also worked at LEAP for 5 years now. And so I kind of have an aspect or a background of both the inside and the outside looking in. I see our youth really struggling with a lot of issues, and I see our whole community needing a place and a time for change, and I think that I can be a part of that. I have some college. I've held positions, in Head Start, sat on boards. I've sat on as a treasurer for our own community. As far as Lakota speaking, my grandparents are fluent Lakota speakers. I am not, however, but I do know our traditional ways. I do know our traditional values. I just look forward to hopefully be a bigger part of our community and make a better change for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we have two new candidates that have come in. I think when you speak, key on your microphone. Are you okay? Brenda? Yes, you're on.
Okay, good evening. My name is Brenda Antoine, and I'm from the Antelope community, and I'm running for the treasurer's position. What qualifies you to hold a community officer seat? I think my qualifications for holding a community officer seat is just to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm 63 years old. I've been a lifelong resident of Antelope community. My late father is Jacob Antoine, and my late mother is Nora Left-Hamble Antoine. I come from the Antoine-Teoshpaye, and we're originally from the Milks Camp area, but we migrated this way to Antelope community. I have worked steadily since I've been 13 years old, and I'm very proud of that. I'm going on my 46th straight year of working nonstop. I worked when I was a very young person, my teenage years, my college years, and I was blessed enough to have a job all those years. I have good work ethics. I guess the one thing I really look forward to, and I work right now, my current position right now is I'm accountant for the Rosebud Sioux Tribe Treasurer's Office. I've been in that position now. It was 15 years on July 27th. However, I've worked for the tribe for almost 30 years. I've worked for the Bureau of Indian Affairs. But the position I hold now is with the Treasurer's Office, and I work closely with the government, tribal government, which is our council, our administration, our programs, and more importantly, our people. I have observed a lot in these last 15 years in my current position. And the reason why I chose to run this year, I've never ran for anything, any position, political position, guess you'd want to say. And the reason why I chose to run this year is because I really want to see a change for our people. I've seen with this COVID and what's been happening the last 2 years, our people are really struggling out there. I mean, I've seen it firsthand with people close to me. And I don't know how anybody is surviving out there that doesn't have a job, because even I'm employed and I'm blessed to be employed, but I struggle. I have grandchildren in my home that I'm helping raise with my middle son. But I really think that we need some new ideas, you know, and maybe that's what it's going to take to make a change in our community, is just new ideas, new ways of doing things, you know, and I have a lot of respect for everybody. I don't believe in putting anybody down because everybody contributes in some form or fashion. One thing I'd like to say, and I know that people that know me, is I'm a very generous person. Whatever I can contribute through my knowledge, experience, anything you can come and ask me, I will try to help you any way I can. And I try to do that with everybody I run into every day. I tell people where I work, we process a lot of checks back there. Okay. But I would like to thank everybody, and please go out and vote on August 25th in Antelope community and all the communities. And I thank you, and God bless.
Yes, you have some additional questions that will be coming. You have some additional questions that will be coming up. We have another candidate, but she stepped out of the room. So we'll start. She can catch up on the next phase, but the second question that we have, and we'll get back to. Wait, there. Our other candidate is back in now. We have our other candidate that's back in the room now. You have the question in front of you, and our next candidate is Amanda Antoine. Would you please identify and provide the information? And key your mic on. It's green. Press green.
Good evening. My name is Amanda Antoine, and I'm running for Vice President of Antelope Community. And this will be my second time running, and I'm running because I want the knowledge and experience and the chance to serve my community. I am currently working on my bachelor's degree for business management with a minor in accounting and tribal law. I think my Lakota value that I possess the most would be respect. I respect everybody. The issue that I see within my community that needs to be addressed and how I plan to address it. I guess I'm open. I know there's a lot of issues, but I'm willing to hear out my community and their members because everybody has a different.
I think you have the question that you have to answer are A, B, and C, and D.
Oh.
And then the next phase, you'll get into the next question, so.
Okay. I answered my 4 then.
Okay. Thank you very much, and we'll move to the next questions from the next question that'll be, we'll start with Gary, but the question that you'll be answering will be, what is one significant issue that you see within your community that needs to be addressed? What would be your plans to address that issue?
Thank you. I see several issues, actually, not just one, but a major issue that's impacting right now is unemployment out there and how they're trying to go ahead and clean up out there. A lot of people don't have the funding to go ahead and get their places cleaned up. They don't have the funding to help clean up. We've got a lot of places that should actually be cleaned, but haven't been able to because people didn't have the funding. They didn't have employment. They had no way to. So what I'd like to do is get out there, work as close with the community as possible, get them active, try to get it not only cleaned up at home, cleaned up in the streets, and try to get everybody as active as possible so that way we can get everybody involved. By getting everyone involved, we can get several other issues taken care of, which is a problem with the kids running around without curfew. You give them something to do, it'll keep them off the streets. If you go ahead and give them a reason to stay home, help the family stay home, it'll give them a purpose. Thank you.
Thank you. The same question, Mr. Brown?
Hello again, this is Archie. It's Brown running for Vice President Parmelee. One issue that I see within the community that needs to be addressed, one of the biggest things that I see is there's never been a lot of change. There's been change, but I think that change is like my biggest motivation here is to address the issues for our youth. With school being back in, you know, it'd be nice to create something for the kids to come within a community, within that community center. Another issue that I see within our community is that a lot of tough questions are not being asked. You know, we need to get to asking some tough questions, getting some answers for the Parmelee community. And when those answers are addressed, keep it going. You know, just don't ask the question, get an answer, and then let it go. You know, I'm a type of guy who's committed to a task that, you know, it's at hand. Again, you know, I've been with SWA 15 years. The program that I manage, we address drugs, methamphetamine. So I know about commitment and I know what it takes to get things addressed and the structure of it. So that's one thing that I want to change within the community that I see that needs to be addressed. My plan to address that is just start asking the tough questions and getting answers to them. What I see is, honestly, I just see people asking questions and not doing anything to keep it going. So that's my main plan, is to ask all the tough questions and getting answers to them, and keeping the youth happy. You know, I worked with the elderly also for many years, and I know a lot of elderly within all communities, and I know what, you know, it takes to take care of them and get answers for them also. I know winter time's coming up, so I know a big issue that I always see is a lot of elders get left behind. Most don't, but a lot of them do. You know, again, you know, doing hazmat work, you know, I know what it takes. I have it in me. I want to get back involved. I want to be involved, and I do really want to be involved with the kids. I'm not really the best at speaking at times, but when I believe in something, I'll speak on it, and I will represent my community 100%. and just address all the issues as much as I can. Another issue that I see going on there is favoritism. A lot of people, you know, they talk, they hear, we see, but you'll never get favoritism out of me. I treat everybody as one. I always have, and that's one thing that I will commit myself to. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next candidate would be Leandra Blacksmith, and to remind you, what you're answering in this is, what is one significant issue that you see in your community that needs to be addressed? What would your plans be to address that issue? Leandra?
Thank you. I believe one of the big issues in our community, since we do have like one of the largest communities, is not having enough activities for our youth. Our youth are our future, and they need something, an outlet for all their energy. What they mainly do is watch us as adults. What we do, what they're shown, is what they learn. It doesn't matter what they're taught in school. It's basically how we teach them as parents. Parents, neighbors, grandparents, everyone around them has an influence on them. And what I would like to do is to implement more activities, not just with holidays, but with each week. Maybe, and also get them involved, show them that this is a big community, and with them coming together and helping us help them, then they'll have a greater future for themselves. They'll give themselves more confidence and to believe that, you know, they're capable of anything that they strive for. So with implementing more activities, I believe it'll not only boost their public speaking, their confidence, but their ability to go out there and show compassion and caring to others, even though they are not familiar with them. So that would be one, that's one of the significant issues I believe that is impacting our community in Antelope. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next candidate would be Calvin.
Thank you. A large significant issue that I see that is coming out of the Rosebud community is I believe that we are lacking togetherness. We are lacking what we used to have as a community. I've lived here for quite a long time, and when I was but a very small person, or as most people would say, average height, we used to have a lot of different activities within the community, varying on age range. We used to have the ball field open for anyone that would like to come in, play some t-ball. You didn't have to register for the games. You didn't have to show up to every practice, but if your kid showed up, they would play. For the elders, we would have our community bingos, in which I used to sit in that little building in the back and eat some popcorn. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I believe that our youth can be able to see exactly how it was back then if we were to pick up activities like that. Nowadays, since we have such a quite a large group of individuals that vary from one sorry we have a lot of different groups of individuals that have different hobbies and different ideas and different tasks that they want to try to learn, complete. I believe that out of the 52 weeks that we have in a year, 365 days, I believe that we can incorporate a lot of different activities for our community. I believe that we can do something for elders, for young children, teenagers, and anywhere in between. That would be my solution for the issue that I see with my community is we get more togetherness, we bring everyone together, and we're able to interact with each other. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelvin. Our next candidate would be Ramona. Ramona, are you on?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes,
All right.
you're good.
Not kind of familiar with this, but okay, so I'm running for treasurer, and I guess, can you hear me?
Ramona, the question that we have that you need to provide us some information on is, what is one significant issue that you see in your community that needs to be addressed?
Okay,
What would you be your plan to address that issue? The most important thing that you think needs to be addressed in your community?
well, in my community, I see just unemployed people. There's a lot of things that we can be doing here in our community, like make it like beautification, because there's a lot of I don't know, it's hard to describe, but I would support fully the president and vice president and what they do for our community. Maybe like get together and make a budget so that some of these young people can earn a stipend or something to help keep our community clean and give them something to do. There's hardly anybody in this community. There's like zero accountability about how to keep it, keep our community nice, make it look, make them have pride in our community, that, have them fix up our community building, or, pick up around and just, give them something to earn, especially the youth. They need people to look up to. And we're kind of losing that, especially with the meth problem we have in our community. We see kids running around without parents, and they shouldn't be that way. But, it's really hard. But I will throw my support into, even if I don't, I'm not a community officer, I will still start helping out, because we need things to do around here. And I'm on the board of a nonprofit, Tipi Resource Center, in memory of Roy Stone Sr. And we brought bikes and stuff into our communities, all three communities. That's who we service. So I would ask them, other board members, to help pitch in and do something for our community and support our community officers in getting things done here. So that's what I think that, that's my biggest thing, is we need for our young adults to have something to do. Ages 18 to 25, 26. That's the biggest group that we need to.
Your time is up. Your time is up now.
Okay, thank you.
The next candidate is Alicia. You're still me.
I'm here, sorry. One significant issue that needs to be addressed here in our community is, one, work as a team, community, fairness, and have respect for one another, and have more meetings and get the community input, because a lot of our community members ask about meetings all the time, and we haven't had one. I don't remember when the last time we had one. And to help our youth and our elderly, have events, bring back the youth committees. And so we can have games, not just for Halloween or anything like that. I want to have something going on for them all the time, so the youth can be busy, especially after school or on weekends. that's when, you know, they want to do something. So that's what I want to do, is have family nights, elderly nights, you know, just movies, things like that for everyone. So that's my thing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alicia. Our next candidate would be Taylor.
Good evening, Taylor Burnett, running for vice president for Rosebud. I guess I can't pick just one, sorry. I'm gonna start off. First off, I would want to build a strong team of really committed people. It really takes like a legit strong team of committed people to get anything done. With my current job now, I've already been attending a lot of the CPA meetings, and half the quorum's there. So that would be my first thing, is really just becoming committed and sticking to it. I've been a part of the distribution of the community funds, so I kind of have some knowledge in that. That would help me to like better mine. One of the biggest issues we all know is housing, but what can we really do about it? I sit in a lot of meetings, I read a lot, I see a lot. Personally, I don't see the problem being solved right now, even with all the money that we did get. So my first thing would be to focus on holding the right people accountable instead of just saying, you know, actually get some doing done. And another thing I've always felt was like one of our downfalls here is that we have all these really knowledgeable people. We have people who can write grants. We have people who do write grants. And when you hear about these stories, it's always the same thing, like, oh, it got so far and it fell on deaf ears, or it got this far and it fell through, or the money, this, that. It's always something. We're always trying to do these good things and they always get halfway done. So I would want to see more support for those kind of things, more encouragement for people to step up and keep trying to do those things, even when they do not come through like you want them. And then just some small ideas like food banks, clothing drives. Before school, we saw people on their own doing their own clothing drives. And there wasn't even like a real legit one put on, you know? But we already have these kind of people in our communities that are willing to do these things and see these problems. So if we could all just work together more, I'm sure we could do a lot more. Thank you.
Thank you, Taylor. Our next candidate would be Stephanie Nypipe.
Hello again, I'm Stephanie Nypipe and I'm running for president for Parmelee community. The biggest issue I see lacking in our community that I would like to address is purpose. Our community has, I feel like it has lost its purpose, and that is in many avenues. As far as our children, our elders, and our community members as whole. It plays into having purpose for our community surroundings, our homes, our events, our youth, you know, things that we need to find that purpose. We need to bring that purpose back to our community and start being proud of our community and addressing the issues that need to be addressed. It just falls into everything, you know, the cleaning up your home, your surroundings, feeling good about yourself, giving our community members that purpose to want to make a change and for the better and be better community members. And overall, you know, once that they start feeling that purpose, seeing that purpose, learning that purpose, I think that our community will really go far. That's it.
Thank you, Stephanie. Our next candidate, and to repeat the question, what is one significant issue that you see within your community that needs to be addressed? What would be your plan to address that issue? Our next candidate is Brenda.
This is Brenda Antoine, running for treasurer of Antelope community. One significant issue that I myself think that we need to change is to restore the trust in our leadership at the community, our officers. We can do that with transparency, accountability, you know, listening to everybody. Our biggest resource is our people. And any idea from anywhere, you know, we really need to listen, because somebody out there has a lot of good ideas, and we need to listen and follow through and have respect for each other. I really see that as a problem in our community, that we don't have that respect anymore for each other, and there's a lot of mistrust. And I would like to, because you know, when someone's in a leadership role and you work as a team, and if it's not functioning right, if it's dysfunctional, then it filters down into the community. And then that's where we start all the rumors and everything that comes with it. And it's all not good, it's negative. And I don't want to see that in our community. I don't want to see us pulling each other down and talking about each other. You know, there's enough problems out there and enough struggles with our people, and we don't need to do that to each other. The other thing I really would like to see is us becoming more self-sufficient as a community. We could be doing grants, and like I heard other candidates say, food banks, you know, let's help ourselves. We shouldn't always run to the tribe. You know, we are a member of this tribe, yes, but we need to be self-sufficient in our communities. You know, expand our buildings. There's a lot of grants out there that we could go after that could enhance our community and help our people. You know, I think once we start getting that ball rolling and really start putting some positive information out there to our membership, communication is a big part of it. And right now, that's one significant issue, is the communication. We don't have that. They say we put it on Facebook, we put it on the radio. Well, a lot of people don't have access to those. And that's where, you know, our community leadership really needs to get out there and go out there and go into people's home if you have to. And that's the one thing I think we need to repair as a people, is that trust. And I thank you. This is Brenda Antoine, running for treasurer of Antelope Community.
Thank you, Brenda. Our next candidate would be Amanda.
This is Amanda Antoine, running for vice president of Antelope Community. I see myself a lot of issues in Antelope Community, but I am running, I put my name in the hat to run for my community. So I want to address all those issues that my community have, and I don't know what those issues are until we communicate. And I think communication to our members of Antelope Community is how we're going to address these. I was off that whole thing. Address these issues and community involvement, to the communication to find out what issues are in our community from our community members, and the involvement to be able to address those issues from hopefully a majority of our community members. That's all.
Thank you, Amanda. We have one more question that each of the candidates will provide some information on, and this would be the closing remarks that you would be making. The question that you need to answer is, why should the people vote for you? We'll start with Gary.
Thank you, Mr. Ledoux. Why the people should vote for me is I'm already out there helping in any way possible. I'm trying to be a part of the change. I'm trying to see a change and make it a better place. So voting for me is a vote for change, honestly. If you'd like to see a true change, just give me a chance to see what I can do. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Our next candidate would be Archie.
Good evening again. This is Archie, running for vice president of Parmelee Community. My closing statement will be, it's like this. I'll get you accurate count of kids, the elders, and everybody else in our community, and get a budget for that. That way, when people bring stuff in for communities, not just some kids are getting it. We will try to make it to where we can get everything or get material for everybody, including all the members. Another thing I like to do is getting all the communities together so our community kids can know other community kids, creating an environment for that. Again, I'll ask all the tough questions. I'll go after all the tough answers for the community to, so you'll have the answers. I was raised to feed everybody, not just one. My grandma gave me a tradition where you would help everybody, not just once. So accountability is like what I'm into. I just want to help the community and me. You will not get any favoritism. There will be no corruption coming out of me. I'm committed to my people as one, and that's how I want to address the community. Again, I do want to go after budgets and grants. I do have that plan. That's about it. I'd like for you guys to vote for me on August 25th, 2022. Thank you.
Thank you, Archie. Our next candidate is Leandra.
This is Leandra Blacksmith, and I am running for the Antelope Community Secretary position. I had chosen to run this year to honor my late mother and my late grandmother, Marlinda Smallbear and May Arcorn. They were, in the years past, they were both very respected members of our community, and they were always involved no matter what it had to the issue that was brought to them. If they just needed to be there to help count votes or just help with different activities, they were always involved. So I decided to run to honor them and continue that tradition within our family. Should you vote for me, I do promise to be available once our community needs me. I would like to make sure that everybody is more educated with times and everything of community happenings. And it's my hope to bring a lot more members together so that we can make a change for our community, our youth, our elders, and help support others as well as surrounding communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Leandra. Our next candidate would be Calvin.
Thank you. Why should the people vote for me? I believe in accountability. I believe that running for a public office is not a 9-to-5 job. I believe that if you are going to be in an office and people have questions, we should be able to come forward and answer those questions. I believe that if people were to vote for me, they would want to see the advancement in the community that they are looking forward to, and something that I would hold myself to would be to make sure that my community would get better. And I promise that if I do win this election, I will make our community better. I believe that there are different forms of communication that we can get information out to the people, not just one community, but every community. I believe all communities should work together. And I believe that if I was to be elected, I would definitely push for all the information that the public needs will be in the public hands as soon as it is available. For closing remarks, I want to wish all of the candidates good luck. And I also want to remind all of the voters that the candidates that are here at the forums are the people that showed up. And I believe that, like myself, if you need me, we will all come forward for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Calvin. I'll repeat the question again of your closing remarks. Is why should people vote for you? The next candidate would be Ramona.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, we can hear you.
Why I think people should vote for me. In all honesty, I don't know if they would, but I really appreciate everybody that would vote for me. I would try to, well, not try, but I will report monthly, the monthly drawdowns, how we spend the money, how do we divide it, bring back the budget committee to our community so that we can have everyone involved, not just, just the officers, but that would be a big help because then that way, we get a variety of people. So I would ask people to come in and help come to the meetings, have more meetings if possible. We used to have 2 meetings a month at one time. I would really love to have that come back, get more information out to the people. So in closing, I just if you can vote for me on August 25th, that would really help. And I promise to do my best to put everything out there and not hide anything from anybody, especially our community members, because we need to know, we need accountability. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramona. Our next candidate would be Alicia.
Hi, I'm Alicia Berkoyan. I'm running for Vice President of Parmelee. What I think why people should vote for me is I'm familiar with my community. And I've worked with all the youth, so I'm familiar with them. I get along with everyone. I will work with my community, like as a team. And I want to make a change and treat everyone with fairness and respect. And my main important thing, like I said, is to get everyone involved and have their input. And I think that is very important. And I just want to say good luck to everybody and vote for me on August 25th. Thank you.
Thank you, Alicia. We'll go to our next candidate, would be Taylor.
Good evening again. Taylor Burnett, running for Rosebud Vice President. Again, back to the basics. I'm easy to work with. Rosebud is a big, big community, and I'm willing to take on this job. I already have a lot of respect for the people who are already in these positions. I see how hard they work. They don't get anything the other people do, and they do a lot of work. I'm straightforward and direct. I'm not afraid to ask questions, and I always require an answer. I'm just really ready to take on something like this. Again, I'm Taylor Burnett. I'm running for Rosebud Vice. Please vote August 25th. We need to get those voting lines as long as the ARPA line, if not, at least as long as the CHOW line. No, just kidding. But good luck to everyone. Again, Taylor Burnett, Rosebud Vice. Please vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Taylor. Our next candidate would be Stephanie.
Hello again, Stephanie Nypipe for Parmelee President, Parmelee Community President. I believe people should vote for me because we need change, and I believe I can be that change. We need fairness, we need unity, we need commitment. All of our communities, our whole reservation is lacking in all these areas, and I think each and every one of us could be that change. I'm for fairness. Like I said, we all need to be one, work together, strive for each of our communities, and just bring our people back to being together and having that. I think once people start to see that change, that they will start embracing their lives and their self and becoming part of that change. So in closing, I think that my ending remarks would be get out and vote. We all need to vote. We all need to make that change. Vote for me. Like I said, I will do.
You're muted. You're muted.
sorry. Again, in my closing remarks, get out and vote August 25th. Vote for me, Stephanie Nightpipe, Parmelee Community President. Like I said, I'm ready for this change, and I'm ready for my community to be bigger and better. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. We have some other candidates still remaining, but to repeat it, the question is, why should the people vote for you? Our next candidate is Brenda Antoine.
This is Brenda Antoine. Once again, good evening. I would appreciate your vote. I believe that my specialized experience working currently as accountant for the Rosebud Sioux Tribe Treasurer and our tribe as a whole would help my community as being a treasurer. I'm a type of person, I'm a hard worker, I follow through, and I believe that working with other people that we could really enhance our community and all the goals that we're setting out to do. I'm a firm believer that change is always good. We can't stay the same all the time and expect different results. So I really believe change is good and everybody's opinion matters, as does your vote. So please get out there and vote on August 25th. Again, God bless you all. My name is Brenda Antoine. I'm running for treasurer of the Rosebud Sioux Tribe. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Brenda. Our next candidate would be Amanda.
Good evening. My name is Amanda Antoine, running for Vice President of Antelope Community. Why should the people vote for me? I'm ready to work with the officers that are newly elected and the people for change. Because without all of us getting along and communicating and being involved, there won't be no change. So get out and vote August 25th for me, Amanda Antoine, for Antelope Community Vice President. Have a good evening and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Amanda. So in behalf of all the organization here that provided this forum, we thank those candidates that have come in to present information on their candidacy. I'd also like to thank Rondell, who has taken care of the radio transmissions, Mariah, the timekeeper, and my name is Ken Ledoux. We will have another session tomorrow with some additional candidates. So we thank you for taking time to listen to these candidates and they provided you information on their experience and capabilities. And we encourage you all to vote next week. And thank you very much and good evening. And we'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you.